There is loads of people. Let's go. 3, 2, 1.
All right, someone's going to be over the first wing already. They're trying to come back around. Remember, there's a nuke for the decider. That's a hard match coming in first this when they go through the playoffs, but it's going to be Eco getting the last kill already. He's taken down because they already shoot me up on him. Come on, get the team kill in there. There's no team kill. That was really fast. Why was that so fast that time?
Fire in the booth.
It's not the exist round where it goes on for like a minute. I didn't even get to build into it.
It was a little bit disappointing, I have to say. We've got challenged. It's another best of 3. Like, it wasn't your fault. It was the speed of the knife round. What can you do? You did your best.
The point we can all take away from that speedcast is that this is nuke to decide to who goes on. I mean, that's a crazy proposition. They already mentioned it on the desk before this game. How much has Liquid had time to practice this? Even if they practiced it with their other 5, look, Pimp hasn't been over there yet. He hasn't had a time to play with them yet. But Simple's just rejoined this, and JDM's come over late. There's no way they have that much like prepared. And as the assumption was made by, I think, Yanko, they might have a pistol round, they might have a default, but that's going to be it.
Well, that's what it could come down to. It's such an unknown quantity in CS right now. We normally see it vetoed throughout this tournament, especially. It's a bit of a wild card, but maybe that's what Liquid need to get back into this after getting decimated there on Dust 2. We do get into it. It's going to be 4 sets of armor for Liquid. A Tech 9 and a smoke on Hiko. We did see that before on Koval. How do they go into this? G2, all guns blazing this time. They're going to actually have 5 sets of armor. No utility or defuse kits here. They want to find their kills nice and early. Body with that P2000 towards the ramp room. Hoping to find this first kill. It's quite a slow start. No rushes here. Previous iterations of Nuke, you did see those fast rushes on the pistol towards outside, maybe towards ramp room, overwhelm the CTs here. Is this going to be quite confusing? I can see the mini-map already, Matt. I can see why people do complain about this.
Oh no, it's extremely hard to tell who's upper, who's lower, who's where, and what they're doing, but
we're going to get
Scream's going to watch right now from the highway position. Body at the bottom of ramp looking into radio. It's Smiths that seems to be the one right now tasked with watching outer. And this is the interesting thing. You used to play the guy in heaven firmly fixed right now. 1 man to watch hot. They've gone for 2 already on this pistol round just due to the potential that outer brings on this new version of the map. But it's Elise and Hiko that are going to start it off. The Tech 9 for Hiko this time again without armor. Gets 2 kills and bomb goes down on the upper site. Body's going to go for the rotation through the vents.
It's so hard to get out of these vents, famously, especially if you don't have a flashbang to go with you as well. He's going to have to rely on Scream to open this thing up. He's coming from heaven. That's got a decoy, that's the bait. Gets up here now it's up to him to land some headshots and see if he can actually give them some entrance here.
And he's got actually distraction long enough, but he can't find the shot on Simple. And it's Nitro to close it out, so good start this time from Team Liquid again to pick up the pistol round. We used to say a pistol round on Nuke was almost imperative because of how one-sided it used to be, but now yet to be determined, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. You're correct there. It was such a CT-sided affair before. It wouldn't be rare to see 12-3 house almost every single map, I would say, but this is a much different story. There's a lot more opportunities here for the terrorists. So many different angles, so many different rooms. And it's Liquid there with the slow default player to start seeing if there is a rush from the CTs there. Dropping 1 player down to the fence. A couple of flashbangs into the side and they overwhelm the CTs. They can't do the retake so efficiently. Try number 2. It is a force fight from G2 here. They have got a max 7 on screen towards the ramp room. Up close and personal. Most of his teammates with 5-7s in armor. Just Smith, so like we said, the AWP player, nothing purchased. He'll be looking to get that AWP. Take it towards outside on the first round. This boost from Body, this is such an overwhelming position. It's kind of OP in my opinion. It's so difficult to check or even flash it. So Body, if they do get towards ramp, definitely can step up here. He goes firing some shots with the door. Gives him a nice little hole of vision here.
Look how cluttered, I mean, if you see it from his perspective, those boxes are, those angles to spot through. Dark in the corner, Dark CT model, you're right, it is definitely a different position to play, but Scream's going to be the one up close. First shot successful with the Mag 7. So they had this planned. This is totally a bait and switch play from G2. It's a very strong setup to go against this early buy from Team Liquid. And Hiko's already tagged down that shotgun. It does get dropped, but here we go. Body's the one in control. The first and it's traded. It only manages 1. It could have been so much more, but it does still come to a 2-on-2 where the HP heavily favors right now G2. And there's a full rotation coming in from RPK. He's got down toward lobby and he's waiting to see if they go back. If they don't, Shocks will go immediately down the vents.
Body there had it all the time in the world. He felt like he could have got 2, but there it is. It's going to be Shocks waiting towards that lower site, and they are going to be segregated here. RPK just patrolling right now, seeing what's available to him. He's actually holding the lobby area, so they can allow Upper to be a full option here for Liquid. It's a bit of a gamble, and that's where they may end up as well. They believe heaven right now, but still doesn't really necessarily dictate where they'll be going. Many options here. We'll be edging up towards that ladder. Crouching, of course, makes them silent, but now giving up their hand as they make their way towards the upper side. It's the perfect play so far. Smoke towards the site.
RPK, though, was spotted. Nearly got a chance at JDM. Shocks has read this well. He left lower already up the ramp to get a fast flank. They knew this was going to be the full wraparound. And RPK still trying to find the angle. Remember that HP's low, but remember, you can also go from the floor to the rafters. It doesn't matter. Shock's already found Hiko. JDM inside, taken down, and this is going to be the defuse.
It's a really interesting decision there from Liquid to go towards ramp room. It's the tightest choke point on this map by far. You have one point of entrance there, and you, like I said, that boost position as well. It's so OP. They're caught lucky to get away with what they did. Scream stepping up with the max, having gets the first kill. There's a ton of damage as well to remaining players. Body only finds one, but it turns out to be enough. They pick up round number 2. And we'll see what kind of buy comes in from Liquid there. They did get a bomb plant down, so there is an option to get the Tech 9 force buy coming in. CT's adjusting themselves after keeping 2 players alive. They have got 4 rifles so far. Smiths could get the AWP if he wanted to. Maybe not necessarily worth it against this kind of buy, but he's going for his glass cannon as well. The good thing about Nuke as well, it's so long range. You can be up in the woods, have enough patrol outside. They won't necessarily have the smokes to actually counter that, so the armor thing's not a huge deal. It's definitely going to be a factor, but let's see what they can decide to do there. It looks like a straight up upper rush.
And Scream's the one tasked now at playing the big garage to try and cover off that out of position. He's trying to find where Lee's just gone. He saw him jump down. Remember, it's so much easier to get toward the Twinkie position. You no longer need to boost, you no longer need to jump, but G2 just absolutely obliterate the round. And Shock's inside, gets the final kill with the pistol. I'm interested to see how that AWP, again, you say plays at heaven. We used to see the big garage in the early iterations always be where that first exchange went. It's so different now. For
sure, that's what you normally, if you had a full buyer of armor, you feel a little more confident. The fact is, with you outside with the AWP, all it takes is one flashbang and they get close to you, that's a risk. When he's got no armor, he plays towards heaven, just get the information for his teammates, doesn't need to go all in. What's interesting about Nuke in this one, like the lower bomb side especially, you can plant it a lot more, there's a lot more options to plant. You can plant behind the silo there before you have to plant in front of there. So it actually gives the terrorists, once they drop down that van, an easier way to actually get the bomb down and make things uncomfortable. Now we're going to the first game round here. There is an AWP on JDM. Simple makes his way out towards yellow as well. But it's aggressive play from the CTs. Smith takes the first shot, but Scream gets the kill. Takes down the AWP as well. 5 on 4. Now they can fall back and wait for the next move to come in from the terrorists.
And Scream's going to go more passive in the yard. He'll allow them to wrap around the big red crate, but it's because Smiths knows that Twinkie's pretty much always going to be occupied. There's so many more angles to cover off out there, but G2, with teamwork and communication, managed to do so. Late smoke out behind red. They're going to try and go for the secret entrance right now. Team Liquid bombs lagging in behind, but Hiko just waiting to see if Nitro and Elise can at least get presence, but they're down 2 men. And even if they try and go for the rapid B, where Hiko splits from either lobby and down the vents or even toward ramp, he's still going to find so much picks, so thankfully they get him in a closer position.
The problem is with Nuke as well, you need the utility just to flush out all these tight corners. There's so many rooms for the CTs to hide him, but that works though. Elise does find the kill on towards Smith. That's the AWP gone down as well. Shock's coming in for the backside though. From the back steps area, finds one. That's all he needs to do. Could have potentially committed towards more there, but that's the round secured at this point. 4 on 2 position. Terrorists with no utility apart from one smoke picked up by Hiko. They have got the bomb in hand. He's going to be going towards main entrance and RPK. This is such a strong position. The CTC or feed before they even see them. And he actually doesn't get a kill, but Shock's finishing things off. Admirable attempt there from the terrorists in a difficult situation, the 4 on 2, but it was that aggressive play towards outside. It's such a heavy area of contention there.
Go on. Sorry, I was going to say, everything Shox is doing has a clear intention. Gets the first pick, falls back, goes to ladder, makes sound bait to try and lure them in. Like, every little move he's making, the choice not to re-peek, he's doing it to support teammates and make sure that there's nothing left behind, there's no mistakes made, there's no over-aggression. Yeah, the CT's there though, going aggressive with Scream, just trying to find that first pick, not allowing the default to come into play. Obviously, it's much easier to go with Twinkie now, and you feel like the terrorists can split outside, and this is what they want to try and do this round. They're going to be going towards that, smokes towards the garage area, maybe an outside split at this point. 3 players towards Squeaky, smokes going outside, they're going to try and get to that upper bomb side. The bomb's in lobby. The Shox is ready for it. That division taken away though, but it's enough. Sprays on towards Nitro, does a lot of damage, but that's all it'll do for now. Good rotation back in, gets there in time, has to pull out the pistol because he's already sprayed away twice now. It's RPK that rotates over top of Hut, manages to find one more and Scream. Nitro was already low, he'll collect the final 31 HP from him, and RPK and Hiko, it's very straightforward, very convincing again as Liquid not able to apply enough pressure to push them back. It's still so hard to walk into the A side. Even though you're limited on the CT side now, you don't have the full control of the rafters. It's still so hard to clear the angles from the terrorist on entry.
Let's talk about some of the key objectives when I'm sure a lot of people haven't watched this map in quite a long time. It doesn't get played too much, even though it's been in the map pool for a couple of months now. Ramp room is like long and dust too. We can get control of ramp room, that opens up options for you. It takes away vision from CTs, obviously you have access to both sides at that point. There's execution you can do on the lower side with the smokes towards the vents, towards the window room as well. That's a heavy place for the terrorists to try and go, but the problem is it's so hard to get control of that. Going towards outside first is to push the CTs back, try and find the first pick. That's what you'll normally see them do at the start of the rounds. JDM back on towards the AWP, glass cannon there once again. We're trying to find that first pick. He's towards outside as well. There are opportunities to boost over these boxes and try and get the first pick. The smokes from the terrorists are blocking his vision for now. Smith's just passively holding garage, and they have got control of secret now.
Now, wall of smoke's actually out toward that catwalk position gives Simple a little bit more advance over top of Twinkie. Smiths is forced to relocate on this because he can't see through it, he can't get information, so Liquid have found something that can at least start to push CTs back with, but even though they've entered in on Secret, they're not fully convinced yet as to what is clear and what isn't, and Shox is waiting on these newer back stairs toward the backdoor entrance, and being Elise finds them. A good reaction. Now they can open it up a little bit quick to back away, so RPK gets down that ladder. Elise thinks he's cleared it off. That could play dividends here late, but Elise is rotating back around with Bomb. So they aren't fully committing to this. They're just trying to figure out exactly how G2's going to rotate. And the information gathered, Elise again takes down Smiths. That's all due or rather Simple being in good position, rotating slowly.
Yeah, at this point, once you get down to the lower side, you have the man advantage as well. The CTs need to try and make something happen. There's so many tight choke points there. You can see RPK struggling in the vent. There's only one vent to exit out the back now. And can't really do much with it. There's so many different points for the terrorists to control. The window room, we've got that room to the side. What do we even call this room at? What's that one?
Which room?
The one he's behind.
Control?
Is that control now?
That's still control.
Well,
wasn't it always control?
That room didn't exist.
They had Toxic.
Toxic's on the right, which is that one.
Yeah.
And this one before, that didn't exist
right.
before.
So my mistake. I thought you were putting a control room when I looked over. So I think the new one is Toxic and the back one is backdoor.
So that makes sense, yeah.
I asked Shroud specifically what they were calling it before the game, and he said, good luck, I don't know. So thanks, Shroud. Appreciate it.
Okay, we'll call that Toxic. That works. And that will be a key position. When you get the bomb down, you can a lot of clutch potential there. There's barrels in there, there's windows, stuff to duck and weave. There's a door as well. Bomb plant in that position can be very powerful indeed, but that's Liquid smoking out towards outside, taking that vision away from Smith. He couldn't really do much about it, and that's what we saw in the previous iteration of Nuke as well. That was a key tactic. That was almost why I got so stale. Every single round, the terrorist is taking the vision away, that wall of smokes, and then getting control of Secret. And then once they got down there, it's very difficult for TT to retake, even more so than ever on this version of Nuke. Once the bomb gets down, it's such a difficult prospect to try and retake that side. So much to check. Second gun round comes in there. We're going to see G2 with the double orb set at this time. Its body with that weapon, maybe taking that towards Ram. We'll see what he decides to do. That's probably the most logical place to take it. Shox patrolling towards main entrance, and once again, it's an outside play from Liquid. Just going to be waiting for the initial aggression. Once again now, Scream, only that first kill.
Well spotted, though. That's a classic position to get there. If you can get there and catch off the terrorists and wrap around behind you, you're in such a smart angle to hold, but spotted just in the gap behind this box. It's going to allow the quick play towards Secret, but once again, Shox is fast to rotate, so that's more of a classic style when you use Secret to your advantage by rotating through the ramp room. But they forced him back. Watch the crossfire set as RPK is going to rotate, so every time Liquid think they have a footing in this, there's a good teamwork rotation by G2 that's playing off of, so far, what Shox is getting for information, and now it's down to just JDM. 1 versus 3, walks back, has bomb, AWP, and a minute to work with.
Well, the difference maker this time is Smiths gets that first pick. They go for a little bit more aggressive this time. They don't want to be behind those smokes. Scream getting up close and personal. He doesn't get the first kill, but it's Smiths that gets the information. They have time to rotate them. You can see Shox getting towards that back steps area, staying alive as long as possible. Once he falls back to the steps towards window room, it does mean he's got a great crossfire there, set up with RBK as well. Just mow them down. They try to come around the corner. Just JDM with the orb now, 3 versus 1, 35 seconds. Doesn't really look like he can do anything with this. Shox is the one to finish things off. 5-2 now, and that's a full reset for Liquid. They're managed to be very tight indeed. I think they've got enough for AKs. Elise has $5,900, so they're doing okay. Definitely a buy here. Will be a little bit stretched. They can probably get 5 AKs if they wanted to, or 3 AKs, an orb, and a Tech 9. Let's see what they decide to do. I think it's the latter. It's actually stronger than I thought. They've got to have 4 AKs and an AWP, but there's the limited side of the utility, so not a single Molotov there. And there's JDM, okay, so he's taken the brunt of it. He's got the glass cannon once again. Like I said, it's not a huge factor on Nuke. There's so many long-range angles. AWPs have got so many opportunities to find these first picks. Normally not going to have enforced bullets spraying at you. It's going to be these AWP battles outside the defining factor.
And Liquid seem to, now that they've got the guns up, but be relying on that outside aggression, the smokes to push CTs back, the picks early on to get to Secret. This time they're playing it in more of a passive setup, and Simple's not got over top of the Raptors. They've finally gotten some control of lobby, so we'll see if this gets more classic style Nuke where they utilize radio a little bit more and try and get an early pick. And so far it's just been Hail Marys in my opinion.
Well, they do the same smokes outside once again. That completely takes away the vision of the CTs. They're not using that catwalk area outside to actually try and get the bird's view of it. It's going to be Smith's locked out of this one. So he probably needs to decide whether he sticks to this. And unfortunately for him, he goes to the reface. And JDM does take him down. Like I said, once you lose control of outside like that, it's normally beneficial for the AWP just to rotate back towards ramp and control lower from that actual entrance. But 5-4 for the terrorists once more. And there it is, Scream towards heaven, trying to see if he can get anything out of this.
Nitro has really good positioning to console Secret. He knows that they can't rotate back around to retake outer. As long as he holds that, the option exists. And now if they can take ramp, it'll be a full wrap, double entrance onto the lower site. And it's Elysian Simple to lead the way. This is more the traditional style I was talking about. Play the picks at ramp room, and Body goes down. There's no one else to cover this. It has to be a fast rotation down toward Nitro already. This is the best map control Liquid's had so far in a round. And a good pick by Hiko as well.
Once you have this man advantage in Nuke as well, like I said before, it's so difficult for the CTs to get back into these rounds. It's not like Dust 2, you have lots of options to push up for some map control. Even if you get it, if this terrorist sticking together and they've got to focus towards a lower bomb site, you're not really getting much for your money when you take over lobby for something like that. So it's going to be Liquid picking up all the kills here. Not a single man dropped so far. Scream exiting towards T-Spawn, the classic place to save your weapon. It looks like he'll survive as well. Bomb ticking away, but that's a successful round from Liquid there. Like we said, JDM on that glass cannon, he finds a kill on towards Smiths. That's the point I was trying to make with that lack of armor. It's normally going to be AWP confrontations first, so the armor is a non-factor in that situation.
So all 5 stay up this time for Liquid. As you said, being able to buy a lot greater into this round than we expected after getting reset, but the money on the other side, on G2 side, is not great at all. So Body's all right. Smiths will have enough carried over. So too will RPK. So Scream saving this gun at 1650 for him going into this round is actually big enough that they could try and force out. Yeah, Body's already gone for the AWP, so.
That was kind of nice open Liquid. They had that outside control, and Hiko, as usual, lurking towards lobby, shooting the holes in the squeaky door, gives them a nice bit of vision there. The CT's rotating, they're not really sure they can get down to lower, and he's just stopping that as well. If he had the squeaky door control with the hole in the door as well, they can't get towards the fence area. They can't get in those positions to actually get the crossfire set up. So that's very nice from Liquid. I enjoy that. And the money, like I said, not fantastic for G2, but enough to get an AWP, and just going to be shocked on the 5-7 here. The rest of the players are on M4s. This will be a big round for them. And it looks like JDM now focusing his efforts towards the ramp room. Does spot the armor Body there, but not going to be getting that first pick just yet. Well, there it is. Body gives him the second bite of the cherry there, and have to Scream now to defend.
Does pick up one Scream as he starts to shuffle. He wants to change his angle. That headshot box does still exist, but he's going to play on top of it instead. Smokes out. They need that bomb back. The smoke doesn't quite make it. The Molotov.
Wow.
Gets extinguished, but they get away with it.
They actually went in there with that smoke, picked up the bomb, and got away with it as well. I thought when Scream had the bomb there, I thought that was it. That's the round over, but they somehow recover it. And now the ball is back in Liquid's court. They're going to have to slow things down and work the pick, but still have a huge advantage here.
And JDM heading up toward Twinkie. He's already evaluating if there's a pick available outside. Smith's, having lost ramp room, had to rotate back toward heaven early. He's actually playing in hell right now, back toward outside, because if they go toward ramp, he has to support it. If they go toward outer, he has to swing and try and catch them off. But there's so many more boxes to cover off this CT position that he has to climb the ladder. And already they've wrapped around through Mini. It's going to be the entrance, but it's shut down as RPK takes Nitro. Bomb dropped again in the hands of G2, and this time they've got the man advantage to work with it. I doubt they'll get away with it twice. They're going to try, and JDM was the one with the smoke to make it recoverable, but he's getting caught in the act. It's Hiko. Blake lurking from lobby. Scream spots him.
Decent round there from G2. Taking control of lobby after losing so much map control towards that ramp area, and Body drops. They actually find Hiko and capitalize that. Liquid a funnel into the outside, to the upper site, and then RPK shuts them down. 6-3 now. The money isn't fantastic for Liquid, I have to say. JDM definitely won't have the AWP. He's been instrumental in finding them the first picks. The AWP is very powerful on the T-side indeed, especially towards that outside area. He's just going to be on the PD50. He's actually not investing this round at all. He wants to make sure he still has that bankroll going into the future rounds to actually have the AWP possibility there. So they're relying on a little bit of luck here. They can use those smokes at the beginning of the round and find that first pick. It worked so well towards Ramper at the start, but that's so powerful from Body. Jocks the incendiary at the start, denies them the rush. That's what they wanted to do. And they will be smoking them out as well, but they're going to be past it already.
Simple with the good pick. So Liquid, after starting out with the Hail Marys outside on the wall of smokes, is now starting to find those picks on the ramp room, and this time they've got lower already. No rotation coming in just yet. RPK still up toward Hunt, hasn't even elected to go toward the vents, but the smokes come in, Nitro goes bomb down, they're gonna cover off that entrance point, but there's the back door. There's the new entry in Shocks. He's gonna smoke his way back into this. He's gonna try and get on this early. And he actually is on it right now.
They didn't hear it.
They didn't hear it. They timed it with the flash. It's a ninja for Shocks. They had absolutely no idea.
Can you believe it? Shock stepping up massively there. Looks so strong for Liquid. They get the first pick towards Rambram. It's a fast plant there. And they're so focused on the rotating CTs. That back door, it's so dangerous. One smoke and a flashbang. Like he said, he times it to perfection. Simple was there, right by the bomb. He could have sprayed it, but he just didn't hear the defuse coming in. And G2 take round number 7. And the remaining terrorist players did die as well, so they're going to be on a full eco this round. And that's got JDM on the stronger catch. He will have the orb going into the next one, but so far, G2 look pretty commanding on this. It's going to be Tech-9s, Desert Eagles, a couple of smokes. On these sort of rounds, you want to try and maybe rush towards Ramble, go towards the vent and see if you can get the bomb in that area. It's going to be the former, as Body ready, poised to get this first kill. He drops the bomb as well.
So a heartbreaking loss for Liquid that limits the economy further in G2. Well, going to work now is Smiths, making a third. Scream just waits, and finally he gets his turn to fire the weapon, but a very straightforward anti-eco round, even with an AWP up, and that's going to build back the bank toward G2. It's Liquid going to buy into this one. They've gone for JDM. This time he's got some armor, but he's on the AWP. And are they deciding about a second one? Because Nitro can afford to go glass cannon. Okay, I like the decision not to. I don't think 2 really works yet on this map. Not without a plan.
Definitely not. You just want to have the one to open up the map, and then that's the call for your little rifle unit to go in after you get that first pick. I was about to say, we haven't actually seen any fast approaches here from Liquid. No upper rushes or anything like that. It's still very viable. That squeaky door being nadeable as well. Let's see what they decide to do here. Hika once again, presumably going to shoot the holes in the squeaky door and try and get a little bit in. So we have a duel. There it is. And the smokes come out towards outside. Take the vision away from Smith, but it's not perfect so far. That covers up. And this is what I wanted to see. Scream changing up the position. That's why on that catwalk area as well. Gets one kill, and that's all they really need to do at this point. They can fall back. Don't allow JDM to get anything out of this.
And JDM didn't spot him crossing back over. They have played with the textures a little bit on that catwalk to make it easier to see downward on, but Shock's getting Hiko. Watch RPK. We haven't seen this position yet, but it's a classic one. It's on top of the hut. He's able to spray them. 1 and 2. RPK. Back to basics on Nuke as he swaps it out. It's just JDM remaining. Bomb down inside of the site. He's accidentally dropped his weapon. I don't think he meant to. He couldn't find the M4 inside of that smoke. He's on the pistol, but either way, it's just JDM to find.
3 versus 1. He has got time to play with, but the bomb down and upper. This is a safe situation for me. I'd say get towards CD spawn, save the orb going into the next round. It's going to be very difficult possibly. He's got to try and get up over heaven ladder, or obviously there are a lot of
new ways
to get up.
Now here's the thing, does he know? You can't. Doesn't work. You have to go to the gap between the railings. And this time he figures it out, but doesn't make the jump.
A ton of noise being made as well. I think he probably will bow out his round. That was his opportunity to do something with it. Like I said, let's go towards CD spawn. Let's save the weapon. It's not worth losing. You're not going to win this round, especially now you're going towards heaven. What's the plan?
I thought he was just going to be like, all right, you know what? I don't like this new outer entrance. I'm going back to the ladder. Yeah. I'm going back to basics,
This is working out for me, guys. Zunga's going to fall back. He will be saving his weapon in ramp room. Like I said, CT spawn a little bit safer for obvious reasons. The Smiths is rotating in. Luckily, JDM timing working in his favor. That Smiths gets taken down. Flashbang is defending a little bit longer. So G2 now looking very strong here. 8-3. Oh, no, sorry, 9-3. Next round comes in. JDM did save the orb. Money's still not too strong. They could force up with the Tech-9s and maybe try a little bit of an inside rush while JDM goes towards outside and tries to take that duel. That's what they bring to the table here. It's anyone's guess. It's such a new map, and the meta's been defined every time we see it played. A lot of teams have very different approaches. We have much more tactical chances. You can smoke towards nests, and you can do the Molotovs all over the site and then flash yourselves in for those skylights, but I haven't seen much of that from Liquid. They're more based around trying to work the picks.
I mean, that is true. There does exist smokes toward heaven and a lot of set plays, but you have to research them and put the time in to do so, and these teams are so busy, and again, the roster changes on Liquid, it makes it almost impossible, but how much does G2 know? Because obviously they've just been playing well off of each other on the CT side. It is the first pick to go against that early AWP of JDM, so already they're limited to just the Tech-9s on round 13. And the release recovered that. It's simple to grab it as well, so the secondary Opper back in his role to try and find an opening pick, and it's through the window at Hut that he's trying to spot toward Mini. Screams way back at Bigger Rush, so he won't be found on that angle. Instead, it's RPK to push through, and Simple can't land the shot. Shox winds up too. Elige gets finally a trade on RPK, but Shox never went down behind the door.
Yeah, Shox is really enjoying Nuke right now. You can see his positional control every single round is so on point. He's just such a thorn in that side where he's back steps on the upper side, pushing ramp. He seems to know exactly what to do in every scenario. It's going to be 10-3 now. That was the eco play from Liquid. They had the AWP, but like I said, didn't really have much to work with there. I would have preferred some sort of rush there, maybe catch the CTs out of position potentially and have JDM working the outside area, but didn't really go that way. Shox enjoying himself, as you can see. Big smile on his face. We're going to round number 14 here. Another buy for Liquid, but no orb available. It's going to be JDM back in the AK-47. No head armor, no utility. He's going to be struggling this round. And no real aggression with the CT side. Not going in front of the smoke. It's going to allow Smiths to just stand back there by the red boxes and see what he can do.
Good counter smoke by G2. Good positional advantage by Scream because Nitro was waiting out here and Simple can't see him, speaking of Scream, when he tries to find this opening pick, but they've rotated this back, and with Smith this far away.
We've got Shocks as well in that lower area. I think he got them towards the vent. I'm not sure where he rotated to.
He's come back up.
There he is. So he still has the opportunity to go back towards outside. He wants that first to get a screen to get the kill outside on towards Simple now. And there's nothing really for Liquid to work with here.
And there's still a bait and switch that exists, so even if they hunt down Shocks, they know he's behind the door. RPK's on top of the hut, and he can find 2 more from that same position on the drop down again. It's all on Tahiko. I thought there was a chance toward ramp with Smiths and Screams so far away that if they could have found the pick on Body. But even then, the rotations are so fast on this Tahiko. He's going to catch out Smith. Does bring this back to 1 versus 2. Body still rotating from ramp means he can try and isolate Scream, but smartly, Scream's not going to peek on this, being so low on HP.
Way down to the bounce here. Committing to the lower side. As I mentioned before, you can plant behind that side right now. It actually makes this very viable for him as well. With smoke and a Molotov available, he can use that smoke to actually have an exit strategy towards that door. Let's see if he decides to take it. Maybe it's a little bit of a bait here. First shot comes in, can't find Body, but that gives his position away.
And that's such a hard position to play in with the smoke not covering either side. No escape. They can push on either direction. And Scream might be low on HP, but Body's distracted long enough that he'll get the kill. It will be the defuse, and we're going to 11-3. So even though we're on a new nuke, we're getting same scores. And I don't really blame the map so much, and this is perhaps the inexperience of the teams on it.
Of course, like we said, they had like a 1-week boot camp in Amsterdam before this event. It's not the full lineup. JDM's just coming in, Simple's here ringing for them. It's very difficult to get that 7 map pool completely locked down. You can see, like we said, there's so many options on Nuke, especially with the set pieces, the skylights being utilized, and so far they're running the defaults time and time again. This time it is a little bit more interesting. He could get it down to the 2 versus 1 with Body on low HP as well. But like I said, he's stuck behind that silo area. As soon as the position was given away, he's just going to be locked down at that point. I'd have preferred him to use that smoke to get towards the door, maybe towards that window room, have a bit more control of the situation, but it doesn't work out for him in that way. Final round of the first half, we have got a nice full buy for Liquid after the bomb went down, so JDM back on the AWP. I'd say this is a must-win round for them.
Stacked up at outer, waiting for the pick. It's Nitro, Elige, and JDM. Scream, smokes in front of them at Big Garage. This is Liquid's go-to. This is their most isolating play, but Scream's going to take advantage of it. He's on the inside of this smoke, and they're going to walk right out. He's got the lineup, but Nitro does manage to bait it off of Elige's early shoulder peek. And now with Bomb, they're going to head, but look at Shocks again, early rotation. Yeah. He's already down below, waiting in secret, bottom of the stairwell. You can't see through the stairs as easily anymore, but it's Smith's found by JDM, and that kill alone doesn't necessarily mean they're going to push Shocks. But does he in turn push them?
Well, this comes down to Shocks now. He's got a great opportunity to get the backstab coming in. I think the terrorists should be aware of this. They're acting pretty fast towards the upper area. That should be the round aside at this point. Shocks, opportunities, but they do spot him, and Elige takes him down just up the body now. 4 versus 1, can't do anything with it, and there it is. Liquid, like I said, a must-win round for them. They managed to throw things out at the end, but it's 11-4. If they lose the pistol, it's pretty much GG at this point. They need this pistol going into the CD half. You can see them struggling on your screen right now. Very comfortable play there from G2. Like I said, Shocks is the MVP for me that half. Actually finished off, it's actually RBK top fragging. He was very solid on above that hut area as well, playing it every single time. It seems like the huts use a lot more now. Obviously the rafters have been cut in half. You used to be able to control the entire bomb site with that bird's eye view wherever you wanted to. Every single round, Valve would try to lock that down being a possibility, and just so you have a bit more control of the situation when you come out of the hut as T. You don't have to control absolutely every single corner. There's just 2 now to look at.
Yeah, coming out of Squeaky before was impossible almost.
Yeah, because it was just a gamble, right?
There's a guy above you, there's a guy across from
Especially
you.
in Source, right? That's why we had to rely on the set pieces on that map, because it was so open. You had to make sure you smoked towards heaven. You had to do a complete, like, 10 different flashbangs to actually eradicate every single corner. So we haven't seen much of that from Liquid, but I'm going to say now, G2, they seem pretty poised in this map. I'd say they're going to have these set pieces. They're going to have those smokes and the crazy boost we know is available as well. You can boost your AWP up outside on the T roof to actually get the pick on heaven. We saw that a couple of times. It takes 3 players, but it's really exciting when it happens. You get that first pick. I'm going to say now, G2 have got those kind of tricks up their sleeve.
And it's 2 games in a row that Liquid win the pistol, but don't get the desired start. Last time they picked up 2, they got eco'd on the 3rd. This time they got eco'd right away. They never really recovered from it. They never picked up back-to-back rounds that entire half.
That was a weird decision for them. They never go towards a ramp up, especially if you're not going to use the smokes and flashbangs effectively. We said that boost spot, it's so OP and so difficult to lock down. It screamed open things at that max 7, and then the body only got 1, but so much damage had been inflicted, the 2-on-2, and they didn't really work too well together. It's got 11-4. Like I said, winning the pistol, that's pretty disappointing for the terrorists. Second half comes in, it looks like we are taking a little bit more of an extended break here. Maybe just taking this time to discuss their approach here on the CT pistol. Whether we'll see something like we did on Dust 2, something very aggressive. That was very common in previous iterations of the map, pushing 3 players towards ramp from sticking together the USPs, just trying to lock down any sort of set piece or default the terrorists had in mind. I think that's probably the best call for Liquid here. If they allow G2 to get control of outside the smokes, which they have called. They've got 2 smokes and 2 flashbangs, no, 3 flashbangs right now. So it looks like that potentially will always be smoke towards garage, smoke towards the main entrance, go towards outside, stick together. So that's why Liquid need to get hunting for information to start. We see it on Cash, for example. 3 players push B storage. This time, push around, try and get something out of this.
We'll see what the call is. Still no buy on the Liquid side. I do want to stress a little bit, again, coming into this, we're seeing a similar scoreline CT side. It does seem a lot more cluttered in gameplay. I remember the first time we really saw this map come into it was the MLG show match. That doesn't count. We've seen it a few times since then. Not many at tier 1 level. A few minors had it as the 3rd map. I think it was played maybe twice as the 2nd map of the best of 3. I don't think it was ever the opening map, but it's a lot more cluttered than I expected it to be. And even though I think it still does favor CT in a lot of ways, just because it's very easy to rotate and control the situation. The choke point at ramp is still tight. You've got the secondary entrance at B. I don't attest the map entirely to this scoreline at all. I think it is more even.
It definitely has the potential to be a T-sided map. The options are there. There's so much to work with. Teams need to play it more. It takes about, maybe 3 more months, and we'll see some teams really dominating on the T-side. So that definitely has potential, especially with the CT economy as it is. That can be, there's so many options towards outside, towards lower, upper. There's so many options you can do with those set pieces. I really think, like, especially with Twinkie being so accessible as now, and the fact you can get towards that heaven area without having to boost, there's going to be so many cool things that people are going to bring to the table on this.
And you do raise a good point about with the time and just establishing a meta and developing the meta on this map as well, because when Cash sort of became a global map, it used to be a very North American-based map in ECS and whatnot. When Valve introduced it to the full-time map pool, it was always CT-sided. In maps, when you first introduce them, it's much more natural to defend than attack, because you have to figure out the angles to attack, the execution, etc. But as Cash moved on, it's the prime example. It's gone almost 9 rounds on average on the T side.
Well then, ladies and gentlemen, there was a small technical issue. I think it was JDM's headset, but it has been resolved now. We are getting into the second half here.
The cord probably doesn't extend far enough to let him lounge that far.
That's what I'm thinking. But it is the 3rd map, the final map. Liquid trail 11-4 on the CT side now, looking to assert their dominance. We'll see where they go aggressive here, but it's a fast upper push here from the terrorists. It's going to be Body getting the first frag. Actually, a lot of flashbangs being utilized. The Simple fights back.
Nitro's going to go for a fast rotation up ladder, but Shock's already inside of the site, has a smoke to protect him, and that means he can hunt aggressively on Simple, and Nitro never found the refrag on this. The bomb's down. Wow. Good nade. A nice read, but not reading Smiths as he comes in and makes his presence felt. Low HP. That's an easy 1-bullet shot on JDM, and he can't land it.
4 HP. Had Smith found that kill, that round's 50-50 at that point. You have no idea how it's going to go down. I'm really surprised he didn't land that shot. Eco with the 5-7 and the pistol round. It's actually very viable in those closer situations. You have 20 bullets in the magazines, great at spamming potential. So a rush comes in front of you, like he did just then, you can lock them down. So you can buy a smoke and a 5-7 on the pistol. That's actually a really clever way to play that map. Like, we know about Hiko on this map. He likes to buy the auto shotgun. It's out already. He likes to use that throughout the entire half as well. He's very, very good with that weapon. It's probably the only map we see it come out on, but it does a lot of damage in these close range scenarios.
It's on top of Hunt where he's already going. This is where he used it before. Gets 3. It is a little bit different now where he doesn't have full control of the Raptors, but again, it's the Hut that he plays it on. Look at the timings. He wasn't quite there in time. This time he's got Scream. Elise follows up, takes body door open, and Hiko continues to fire away. You talk about JW at Drop Room. There was a game, and I believe it was ESEA Invite Season 19, the last season before they switched over to Pro League, where Hiko dropped something like 22 kills first half CT side just using the shotgun on top of Hut. So it is literally his position.
And he had $900 per kill for that weapon as well. So even if he's happy to use that weapon, he can just farm cash for his teammates and just keep dropping weapons if he's getting considerable kills. He's actually has like
$6 grand already.
6K after that round. So yeah, it's great for farming money, that's for sure. That's what makes it a little bit more viable in that sense. If he can actually get kills with it and just get loads of cash rolling and drop weapons for his teammates, and he's happy to use that weapon, it's great. There's the replay right now. I love that new sound, especially with the bass in this room as well. Oh, that's so satisfying.
It is lovely. I hope he just puts on a clinic with it, because it's a bit humorous, but also extremely entertaining to watch. Wow. So he'll keep it one more. Simple's gone toward the FAMAS. JDM, interestingly enough, is sticking to the 5-7. They're trying to get him onto that AWP early, naturally.
Right, it's a full-on ramp rush here. This should be very simple for Senior Nitro. He gets 3, make it 4. Looking to the A, Simple snatches it away. But there wasn't really much to discuss that round. They had nothing to work with. Glocks and maybe a couple of PT-50s. So went for the ramp rush. It's never really going to cause too much of a fuss there for the CTs. The SMGs more than well equipped to actually lock down that position. It's not like it's a huge display of skill here. Let's not get too excited. Really simple, but still nice to look at.
It is nice to look at indeed, and it also builds up Nitro's bank account considerably.
That's for sure.
picks up 600 on each of those. The Heat kill, by the way, just saving into this round. Didn't do much last time with the shotgun, but has 7K. They've already got an op in hand, even if JDM goes down with this one. He's out toward outer right now as Smiths and Body try and spray through radio. And here we go. This is, okay, we didn't see any of this from Liquid. This is more execution based. They've already taken out the skylights. Now they have potential to flash through those, to smoke through those. There is a smoke that lands on Heaven from there, and they can try and open up the inner sight considerably more with that, with that option.
Not only does it give you option to have more flashbangs available, it takes away that sound trigger of the glass smashing when the flashbang comes in as well, so that's a big reason to take it away at the start of the round and see whether the CTs react to that. We can see Liquid are prepared for these upper rushes as well. They're dropping incendiaries towards up at the start of the round. You can see this is going to be a really cool half from G2. I can feel it. You can see they've got a lot to work with this map. There's a smoke towards Catwalk, smokes all over the place. It might just be a rouge, you know, take the vision away and go back towards Ram. That's what Body's doing right now. They've actually got a full rotation towards there. There's a boost though, and Nitro gets one kill, but that's all he can get. He said our position's OP, but in this instance, it's actually an equal trade.
And Elige not able to catch them before they rotate into ramp. He's considering the ramp still as a possibility, so he goes up Heaven rather than immediately trying to get into the lower side. Instead, it's JDM with the AWP to catch off Scream. And what we haven't mentioned was Shox' position. He came back through the lobby because he had thrown out that smoke on Catwalk. He could have wrapped around, and if he'd done that, he might have caught them off, but there's the backdoor entrance again from JDM. He finds Smiths, and although the bomb's planted, Shox now has to be the one to completely clutch this up. They have no information. Remember, he's late to this position, and he's been quiet to get here. But the door closed might give them the indication. He sprays in. Bomb was being defused. He's got it at the 2-second mark. But a nice shot from Elige, and the kit's down on the bomb. It's an easy pickup for Liquid.
Yeah, nice work from Elige. He's ready for that scenario. The full defuse comes in the smoke as well. Shox makes it interesting, but Elige ready to strike there. Watching that position like a hawk. The back door, we're calling it. And Shox can't deliver that, although he did make it very close indeed. It's going to be round number 20 coming in. I don't think there's money available, even though they've got the bomb. Okay, so they could get AKs and armor, but that'll be it. We discussed GT probably going to have a lot of set pieces here. We saw the outside fake coming in, those set smokes towards the catwalk, towards garage, main entrance as well. Take the vision away from the CTs, try and force some rotation from the ramp. It actually worked out very nicely. We just had Nitro boosted up in that area. Only got one kill. Like I said, that's a key point of the map. You can get control of ramp room. There's so many more options available to you towards upper bomb site and lower as well.
Again, top of the hut. JDM watching multiple angles, so they aren't playing the buddy system out of it. They brought Simple over a little bit later, and that could be required. Again, that smoke goes out on the corner of Catwalk. That prohibits JDM from playing the long angle toward the Twinkie position, so he doesn't have the information, he doesn't have the vision, and they're already rounding around. At least could drop down into mini, and they're going to go further than that. They want Heaven. It was Simple down. Yeah. Nitro's the one that has to make the fast rotation. JDM gone. G2 on a simple smoke execution. Have a plan on this.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It has so many T options here. That, you can see JDM, even Garage, he has no idea that's going on. He gets completely railed there. And now it's up to Nitro. At this point, though, G2, they've got a two-man advantage, slow things down. CTs have information. They have no idea. They've got no one lower right now. They're all towards upper, hoping they can get something out of this. He with the auto shotgun as well. Come down to Nitro here. Yeah, you see they've got nothing going on lower bomb, so someone needs to hunt for info in about the next 10 seconds, so they just don't know what's going on.
And Nitro still has to be the one to hold this. Needs to be careful not to stick his gun barrel too far forward. RPK gonna make noise, go inward. Nitro trades it. Unfortunately couldn't save Elige, but he did an excellent job his turn back. And Elige himself picked up 2 before that. Look at Simple. He's I think he's just having fun.
Was that serious? I
think that was just Simple being Simple. Okay. It might bring the morale up. I don't know. It depends on what kind of teammate you view him as.
What a play that was. Even though G2 with the massive advantage there, it's 5-on-3. They commit fully to upper there. I was like speculating that Liquid had to start hunting for information. They're all towards that upper side. They have no idea what's going on. It's a bit of a gamble, but that gamble works. And then some. It's 11-9. They're closing the gap now. It's going to be round number 21. We've got pistols available for G2 as a partial buy. Tech-9s, Deagles, armor, and a few smoke grenades as well. So they could do the outside execution, try and get towards Secret. I'd say that's pretty much the only option at this point. Try and get down there, make it close range with those Tech-9s and see what you can do here. JDM losing a bit of vision there, but it's not the best gap. Hasn't been fully covered out. I think that second smoke has covered it off. And now he's just watching towards Twinkie, looking for the first kill. I detest that name, Matt. It's very American. But I'm happy to say it for you.
All right, thank you. I do appreciate that. But the smoke out again, they're gonna run the same play. JDM seems to wise up to it slightly. He tries to get a shot through the edge of the garage, but Smith stays on the ground. He's gonna wrap Big Red. It causes complication. There's no one there. They're gonna have to play a double man outside if they want to try and win this situation, because G2 wrapping are in the upper site. Body with a shot, finds Tico. They turn back, but he's dropped down. Bomb's falling onto the floor. It doesn't matter. Lee's there with 2 more spraying down from Mini.
We've got a game on our hands, it seems. 11-10, Liquid hit double figures. 1 round separates them now. Money is decent for G2. We'll see what they can do with this round. And we hear a little bit of info from the inside. There's Peacemaker there, giving some intel as to what he wants him to do. Bit of feedback, perhaps.
I would say in this situation, when you have a coach in this, like, if you're on a new map, you're a newer roster, and you're trying to expand your map pool, if you've had a boot camp at all, you may not have an set execution. It's, I think, your coach's responsibility to at least have some sort of idea of team styles on this map. So, in terms of demo review, in that sense, so I imagine he's the one that's going to have to be vocal in a lot of this. But Smith is going to start off against JDM. That's finally a first pick for G2. Pico, he's never had to really drop this weapon, has he?
No, but I don't think he has, you know. How many kills has he got so far? It's 14 13. And I said it's about farming that cash. Every round he finds a kill, the pretty much pays off the debt for it. And we'll see how he goes into this one. They have got the man disadvantage right now, and up to G2 just to push forward together and see if they can capitalize this time. Before they lost that 5-on-3. With a stronghold towards that upper bomb site. Constant play here from G2 this time.
So Elijah again in the rafters. He and Nitro have been playing in close cahoots on this map as well, but they've given up a lot of space, and Outer, this will allow a secret rotation. Simple is actually the one that's supposed to be watching Outer. He's gone all the way back towards CT spawn and looked at Catwalk. He hasn't even considered this possibility, so Nitro in control room has to do exactly that and make sure that they don't get too much of an entrance to be. But remember, those wraparound on the back entrance, that back door, that back stairwell, whatever you want to call it, does mean they can actually bypass him, and he only gets a 1-for-1 trade. So it's going to be a retake on lower, 2 men down. Finally, G2 might be picking up a round on this T side, but Simple's here early. Vent not busted out.
Yeah, that's a problem. As soon as he shoots it out, they know exactly where he is. So he's going to try and lurk here towards that back door area, see if he can open that up and do something with it. They have got flashbangs available from most smoke to cover that bomb, ninja potential here. I think at this point it's probably worth saving the weapons. At least completely removed from this. But Simple, does he want the ninja? Is that why he's waiting this position? Potentially. Could go for it. He's thought, guys, it's probably worth it. I'll see what I can do.
Well, Elige gets shocks. That starts to get them on the chase. Scream's not fully left yet. He's got a flash. He's going to try this. As soon as the door opens, flash out. He's on it already, but they're looking at it. Wait for the flash. Scream's there.
Yeah, that's ambitious.
That is ambitious, but that is simple, isn't it?
Yeah. It was worth it, I think. It could have been spectacular if it somehow worked out. At least getting that kill as well may have taken away some of the attention towards the lower side, but Scream's on it. I'm not going to let that round slip away. The round is starting to build here. Are you guys enjoying Nuke? Yeah, I think so.
I'm definitely learning as we go, I think. It's for everyone, it's a learning curve, but it is exciting. Again, I'm a fan of newer maps. I think that teams that can adapt quickly, there's a skill in that, and skill should be rewarded. So right now it is a game, 12-10. G2 finally picking up their first round on their terrorist campaign, and it does mean Liquid still has money, but not much. This round actually could be huge for G2, because this will put them 13 anti-eco, potentially for 14, and then it's a battle for Liquid to pull it back again for the second time. Good positioning for Elige. They haven't spotted him get up underneath this Twinkie position. Not spotted, as we saw Scream was, through that gap in the box. And if RPK doesn't check it when they round the corner, it could be a sitting duck. There's the first one. Second one, traded as well. No, not even. RPK took him low, and it stays on 19, and Elige wins the duel. That's a big misplay.
Why is Smith going first with the pistol out? Surely he's got to have RPK. Let's just get the refrag here. But Shock's doing some work here. Does find the kill towards Hiko with that auto shotgun. Does take some damage for it, though. 4 versus 2. Towards that vent area as well. They haven't got the bomb just yet, so a lot of work to do. I'm assuming Shocks go down towards the vent to get towards back steps and see if they can pincer this towards the side. But look at Simple's position here. No one's going to be checking that body. Going all the way to T-spawn, trying to split between back steps and the Twinkie area. Still trying to play with it. Flashbang goes over. What can Body do? He does get the bomb. That boosts their chances at least.
Well, 36 seconds. Shocks is still inside of the vents. Body's gone to lobby. I would expect he's going to try and go out Squeaky as fast as he can toward the the vents without being spotted. It's his fastest access and closest he can get to his teammate. And then he'll try and get the plant on this. As soon as that vent busts out, it is a fairly loud noise trigger. That should instantly draw the attention, and it does, of a Liege. They'll play this slow for Team Liquid. They've got kits on 3. They can afford to wait a few seconds to get a plan. And Body's gonna go behind that door. So we'll see if this works out for him in this new area. He can watch the stairway only, and as soon as that door opens, he's in a good position to try and defend that bomb that's planted. And Shocks as well has got doors closed in front of him. He's gonna hear them coming through the window. Simple gets locked up trying to crouch through it. Thankfully, Body goes down from Liquid's perspective because that was the most powerful position to be in. And a Molotov forces Shocks out. He can't defend this, but he's got one on it himself. It doesn't. Oh my gosh, just make it. JDM's down. They're still have to get on this. And the kit is gonna be just enough time. That could have been an absolute blunder if that was even a second longer before it extinguished itself.
That was fine though from Liquid. Once again, they're gambling towards outside and saying, right, let's just stick together. It's a 4-on-2. Even if they get the bomb down towards lower, we're going to be able to retake this. Shocks definitely made it exciting. He gets that first kill towards the window room, and the Molotov dropped perfectly on the bomb as JDM with 1 second remaining before he went down. Teammates lucky though, takes him down and actually comes quite close towards the end, but it's fine. Now Shocks, the mastermind behind the operation. You see him explaining what he wants to do this round. It's a 4-spy. AWP, 2 AKs, 2 10-9s. They're focusing on the utility here. Let's see if Smiths can open things up, but this is a big round for them. It's definitely an eco if they were to lose it. No auto shotgun this time for Hiko. He's upgraded to the rifle.
And Smiths, he's actually trying to show one of his teammates right now where exactly he has to line it up. On that fence, so he actually, I'm assuming he's sitting beside Scream because he literally walked over to the wall, put his crosshair on there, and then Scream came over and did the same thing. So obviously Smiths has a little bit more in-depth map knowledge than Scream does in this case, and there's just that smoke.
How new this map is. If they're having to do stuff like that, they're not really as well oiled as they'd like, but the smokes are successful, takes the vision away from main. But JDM, he's in the back steps this time. Looking at that first pick is a good position to be, and get 1 kill. Great exit potential there.
Smith checks that corner this time, and Liege not pushed up, but the wraparound from Mini, and they're coming in from lobby as the Liege to get 2 before going down, and now he's got a 3rd. I thought he would go down sooner as Shocks walked in, but it's still going to be G2 in the site with control. Low HP on Scream as he has to try and wait for Mini to be entered, but it's Simple found by Shocks, and Nitro covered off. G2 pick up the round, and those smokes work out, so Smith's, I guess, showing his teammate pays off.
I have to say, JDM for me, he threw that round away. It's such a big one for them as well. They've got the man advantage. It's what, 3 versus 2, 4-on-2 at one point? And it's a Liege. He does so much hard work. He gets 3 kills. Okay, so it's a 4-on-2 at one point, right, before he gets that last kill. JDM, but why are they not waiting for the bomb to be planted? If the bomb has to be planted, that's 1 player taken out of the scenario for 4 seconds. They run straight in towards main entrance. JDM with the pistol out. He dies, and that actually loses them the round. That's completely nuts from him. Wait for the bomb to go down, and then it's got a perfect opportunity to do the retake at that point. Like you just pointed out, there's a full eco here for Liquid. That's a massive round for them to lose. Need to be waking up a bit in those situations. So much to play for here. 3rd and final map. It's coming to the closing sectors as well. It's a fast play towards outside from G2. Not really much Liquid can do about it. Looks like this will be a certainly going towards the French, but Lee's getting in position towards main entrance, listening out. It does hear a lot of footsteps here.
Fast rotation from both JD and Simple as well down to the lower bomb side. Elige is found by Scream. And they've got control of Heaven, they've got control of Hell. They've wrapped on the inner sight with the kill on Nitro. It's Shocks that's waiting at Hut Heat to walk through. And they've basically got A already. Without much confrontation at all, Simple falls late. They haven't lost anyone right now as JDM is going to try and do what he can economically. Nice shot by Scream, and he goes down. It's going to be the 14th round for G2. JDM is found, gets bodied, sure, but not enough. And money, well, it's up, but it's still not great. Elige with only 1,500. But he has brought out the AWP as JDM. It's going to be Glass Cannon, and I thought he was going to drop it over to Simple. He's going to keep it himself.
Yeah, Simple's been pretty quiet this game. What's he on 9 for 19 right now? We have got the body out for JDM in the end, so it's not the worst buy, but they're definitely limited in terms of utility and defuse kits as well. We'll see what they can do here. 1 round away for match point here, G2. Auto shotgun back out on Hiko. I think that's where he found most of his success, so why not? But it's like 2 rounds in a row now. As we go into number 26, Molotov towards A main. That's going to mean an outside execution coming in for G2 there.
And Hiko again on top of the hut. Shotgun to play with. Smokes off inside of main, so they won't have to watch them wrap back around, and he can focus just on top of Squeaky.
What's so good about the Molotov towards A main as well with a fast outside attack, it means if there is anyone CT players there, they can't really exit through. You've got someone in main watching them, they have to run through fire. They're committed towards the main entrance there. They just rip off the heads of the remaining CT. It's going to be a 5-on-3. Shotgun in the hand of Hiko. No nade remaining. 1 flashbang, that's it. No defuse kits. They can't really allow the bomb to go down here. It's a much difficult position here, but Rico gets one. Simple doing what he can. They find a flurry of frags in. All of a sudden take the advantage, but that slips away. Nitro now 2 versus 1 situation, and he's actually in the lower side as well. Makes his way towards the vent.
And Hiko with 2 on that shotgun before going down, but bomb is going to be re-grabbed immediately.
Or is it?
Well, it's just over the edge. I think they can grab that without showing themselves. Yeah, there you go. Smiths has it. So Nitro heard that, but couldn't do anything to deny it. He's going to go for the silent climb up the ladder. That's spotted by Smiths, and Body's going to get the kill. It's map point for G2, series point for G2 over Liquid, who were the ones to knock them down to the lower bracket to start off this tournament. So revenge is sweet. It's 24 kills for RPK, Shots with 25, Scream on 20, and no money again for Liquid as they force what they can.
Yeah, no real choice there, but to do, go all in. Shotgun, 3 pistols, simple yet to buy. He goes for the UMP. It feels like this will be a map. I'm not really sure what the options are. It's nuke, it's limited. You either push towards lobby at the start, push hard, try and split between ramp as well, go for those initial picks there, try and make that UMP do some work. Auto shotgun will obviously be towards that upper position. Not the leash, patrolling outside of a 5-7. I think G2 are well aware of the economic situation for the CT. Stick towards outside, keep things nice long range. Body's already got the secret, so command and control of the map. Smoke's expended by the CT to the start. That's not really going to matter too much. There's so much time to play with it. Just wait for that to dissipate and then make the next move.
He's trying to take advantage of a small gap in the smoke, but it haunts them in the end as Smiths starts it off. It's down to 4 for Liquid. Take it one at a time. Count it down. As G2 already with control of the catwalker, wrapping onto Heaven as well, and Nitro. He's at hell, he's down below, but he can't really do much from this position. It's not as powerful as it used to be. You can't catch them going to the ladder because they don't need to go to the ladder anymore. You don't even need the boost, but Hiko at least makes it a contest, gets the shot with the shotgun. It distracts long enough, and Nitro comes up. It's 2 with the 5, or she's at 75, excuse me. But Body, he gets 2 in return, and Nitro falls down and into the grave. It's gonna be RPK to close it at 16-11 for G2.
Well, they certainly gave us an entertaining series. It finishes off on Nuke. Liquid, seeing like they didn't have enough to work with on the T side. The CT was actually very convincing. They brought it back to pretty much dead even. But G2, once they got the money rolling again, great defense. And that man in the screen right now, one of the stars in Europe right now, and the in-game leader for G2 as well. He gets them through to the semi-final. Fantastic work there from G2 to finish it off. Quite convincing the end, 4 rounds in a row. You can see Liquid was struggling with the economy, but you can't take anything away from them. They come here essentially as a mix. They had 1 week to prepare, and it's so much to work to do. Nuke especially, not many teams know how to play that map right now, and they gave it a good go. 16-11 to finish things off.
And the good news, I guess, if you're a Liquid fan, is this is the lineup they're going to be heading to Cologne with in a week and a half's time. Just over a week's time, and they've got a boot camp coming up. They now have some notes. They now have something they can take home with them and practice on Nuke. Because it's one thing to go out and grind the map and come up with strategy. It's another thing to find the weaknesses in your strategy. They now have at least something to base off of.
Yeah, absolutely. I think this has been very beneficial for them. Obviously, Cobble looks fantastic right now. They're just decimating teams in that one. Beating G2 twice on this map in this tournament. The first one to open things up today. They started off slowly after G2 got back into it, but it was a very commanding victory in the end. Dust2 probably needs a little bit more work there, but what can you do against G2? They're very much in form right now, and that's a good win for them. 2-1, and we got one more game for you this evening.
One more indeed. It's a double North American matchup as well. Cloud9 versus TSM after Cloud9's performance over Astralis. So interesting to see how that one will play out with the inconsistencies of Cloud9 lately and TSM's rises of late.
Yeah, TSM have been the surprise package of this tournament. This is their first European event, and they've taken some heavy scalps here. They actually knocked down Astralis to the lower bracket, so that's going to be a really exciting game in that North American derby. The derbies are always the good ones. Obviously, these teams play against each other so much. I can't wait for that one to begin.
Well, that said, on stage, Smix is standing by with Smiths, the guy who obviously knows how to throw more nades on Nuke than the rest of us.
That is correct, Sadakis. First of all, congratulations, Smiths. You guys are on to the top 4 here at the ECS Season 1 CSGO Finals. There's so much to talk about, but it all started with Cobblestone, so let's start there. It seemed to be going okay for you guys, but then it just turned into a huge momentum lead for Liquid, and things got out of control. So can you explain, what do you think went wrong there, and how was your team able to come back and recoup for Dust2?
Yeah, it was a really tough map. On Cobblestone we had the lead, and at the city side, like Eco clutched 2 rounds, I think. 2-1-on-2, and we started and trust our setup, our defense. So we are playing like really bad after it. So well played to them.
Then how are you able to come from a map like that and just refocus for Dust 2? Because sometimes it can be hard to let go of a situation like Cobble where, as you said, you felt like your teammates just started to not trust each other.
It was their map, so basically we lost to them in the group stage just before 16-6. So yeah, we are disappointed about ourselves, but we knew that Dust 2 was our map, and we had a good nuke as well, them as well, but so we knew everything was possible.
Now, speaking of nukes, it started off a great half for you guys, 11-4, and then things started to look kind of scary there. So walk us through what happened there.
I don't even remember, but yeah, we had a huge lead, and we started losing the pistol, so they came back a bit. They put us on eco, and yeah, they have a really good nuke, but we won this time.
By winning here, you guys are moving on to the top 4, where you will be playing a sort of revamped Fnatic. Now they have Olaf Meister back, so definitely a very tough opponent. But what are your thoughts going into that matchup?
I think it's going to be really a great match, so be there.
All right then, well, congratulations again. It will be G2 moving on to play Fnatic tomorrow at the top 4 semifinal. But unfortunately for the American team in Liquid, their road is done.
Thank you very much, Mix. Yes, unfortunately, one more North American team goes down, but we're not done. We'll talk about one more match. We got 2 more North American teams vying to get one more spot in there. But again, we were talking in the green room, and JW even tweeted, like, wait a minute, will we be the only European team in the semis? So G2 has made sure that's not the case anymore. And again, like Smix talked about, like, great first map, you know, but then it kind of went south, and then they brought it strongly back at that nuke. I mean, nuke. Yanko.
Definitely. I feel like we talked about it in the pre-game show that if it goes to nuke, it's going to depend on how many rounds will G2 get on their T side. I mean Liquid, because G2 is more practiced on it. As we could see, they did manage to close it out in the end, and Liquid win the pistol round on nuke. I think we'll get to it eventually, but
yeah,
you know, after losing the second round, it was what maybe lost them the game in the end.
So let's go back to the first map. Cobble, 16-12. They split pistol rounds. Starting with you, Robin. Thoughts on that one?
Yeah, and I mean, G2 started actually better off today than they did yesterday on that map, being 6-0 up, and then after that it just fell apart a little bit. But you saw the tendency in both of the maps. Actually, it wasn't really necessarily like a tactical approach to the to the map. Both of them actually on both of the sides, just raw aim all together. 3 players on G2 side and 3 players actually on the Liquid side as well, just showing up, right? It was a duel after duel after duel, and whoever won the duels ended up winning the round. It's nothing really strategical about it. No really smoke rounds, no fakes, none whatsoever. It's like, we're gonna take this site. You can try and stop us if you want, but we're on fire right now.
Do you have any particular rounds you want to point out on that first map?
I mean, there was a round, it was after the Hiko clutch round. It's when things started going south for G2 after they had a pretty good start, and then we had the JDM clutch round. This is actually that particular round, which at one point G2 was in a 4v2 situation. So we can play the beginning of the clip here, and this is at that point Smith's his positioning here, in my opinion, is a bit too aggressive, because he is the lone player on the A bomb side. As you can see here, you can see that all of his teammates are on the B bomb side, and I feel that like he should be at this position where the circle is on the A bomb side, since he's too aggressive here. If he dies as he did, he gives complete control of the A bomb site to Liquid. If he plays it more passively, well, then they can't just rush into the bomb site. He buys time for his teammates to come in. Maybe they get a trade 1-for-1. But being in an aggressive position like this, he misses his shot, dies, and this gives a chance to Liquid. And then we had the crazy JDM 1v2 with 2 no-scopes, which could have gone either way. But I think that G2 would have had a better chance of winning the round if Smits played it a bit more passively in that position, just played for info and bought time for his teammates to rotate over.
No, I just want to point out as well, I mean, we were talking about, you know, the Liquid choking and all that, how it used to be, and then JDM comes in, and it's plays like that wins you games. And I'm sure there were a lot of people talking about it, so it's like, well, oh, what are they going to do now? They have map point here, what's going to happen? And then almost every single round at the end of that first map is just all on JDM, just getting those entries, shooting people, that clutch, for example. We had some wall banks as well, some quite nice ones in Chicken Coop from JDM, and just all around very solid throughout that first map.
I think it's pretty obvious that the clutch rounds that G2 lost basically put them on tilt, because they went for 2 unnecessary force buys after losing that clutch round, where still Liquid was at, I think, 11 or 12 rounds, so G2 still had room to work with. They could have gone for 1 eco, then had another healthy buy and tried to outplay Liquid after. They lose 2 rounds there instead of taking a timeout to calm everything down, and after 2 force buys, that's when they take a timeout. They were already, Liquid was already at 14 rounds, I believe, and I felt that at that point it was a little bit too late. Now, in the grand scheme of things, looking at the whole match, it didn't mean as much. They managed to come back on the last 2 maps, but you know, maybe something to look out for coming further on into the tournament.
And then the second map, Dust 2, 16-6 for G2. Obviously, they turned that first loss around, and again, they split the pistols. Let's talk about that, starting with you, Robin.
Yeah, no, I mean, in the early stages of that map, actually looked very even, and then all of a sudden, G2 and finally got Liquid on an eco, and then it just spiraled out of control, right? We were talking about, by the point, it could have been an 8-7, even a 9-6, ended up 10-5. And same thing there, same situation as Cobblestone, where G2 is just basically running around, gaining map control, and on that side, then Liquid actually had less of a chance to just try and hold it off. Whereas for G2, then you just saw that we have the steamroller in Shocks, and the crew basically just turn up. JDM was still present though, but I feel like the rest of the Liquid players actually on Dust 2 actually toned it down a little bit compared to Cobblestone.
And what did you find out for us to show us on that map? Anything exciting?
On Dust 2?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not much. Liquid wins the pistol round again, and then they had that weird anti-eco rush of long and mid in the third round, which they lose. And it gives control to G2 and control of the economy as well. And G2 goes on to win, I think, 5 rounds in a row after that. You know, if Liquid plays it smarter a little bit, at least, you know, maybe it gives them more control of the half. It makes G2 maybe play more cautiously than they usually would. But in the end, it was a 16-6 scoreline, so it probably wouldn't make too much of a difference in the end.
All right, and our last map, obviously, we just saw it. Again, the closer one, not necessarily the first side. Obviously, it's still turned out to be a CT map, like you guys talked about in the pregame, until the teams really start playing it and figuring out that harder T side and how to get in and out of some of those tighter choke parts of the bomb site, right? And again, like, you go down 11-4, even though it's not the favored side, like that's tough.
I think if Liquid doesn't lose the second round there, they end up with 6 or 7 rounds in the half, and that's obviously much better for them to play with in the second half. So, you know, we will never know. Maybe it would have been an overtime in the second half, but that was pretty crushing. And it also has a psychological effect on a team, because you win the pistol round, you're pretty hyped. Okay, now we got this, because it's the harder side, obviously, and then it all comes crashing down once you lose 2 pistols.
Yeah, I mean, the map actually, when you saw this game here today, if you compare it to the old nuke that we had in the beginning of CSGO before they removed it, they actually played it very similar to how you would play it on the old one, even though you have a lot more options now. And that just shows that you haven't played the map enough, where you still see the same thing. Anti-ecos were a little bit sloppy, you know, even on this new map, you don't want to go to tight spot like Ramp, the one they lost, and then just end up falling back. Yeah, sure, you got into the A-bomb side after, but it's a 2-on-2, which in reality, if you had gone out yard, you work your picks, it's long distance with your AKs, you probably would have ended up winning that round. And then you just see the regular smoke curtain outside the yard, you can go down. It was very, very similar to how it was played. So if this map turns out to be as seed side as the old one, then 11-4 scoreline is actually not that bad. You know, and they, especially if you end up winning that pistol as well, then all of a sudden you have a game on your hands. And I think Liquid at that point in time, it's just G2 was just grinding, and you can tell that they obviously had a lot more practice on this map compared to Liquid.
And considering G2's play style, I mean, all over this match, they're pretty aggressive on their T side. It's mostly simple stuff, relying on their aim. And what was apparent here with Team Liquid is that Simple had a really quiet game. He was the worst performer on his team, and I think he was the X factor that was missing for Liquid to maybe, you know, push them over the edge and manage to overcome G2, simply because he's such an explosive player, an amazing gamer as well. And, you know, in those crucial situations, it's what they needed. They needed someone to step up and make the opening.
Any particular round that jumped out on you on Nuke, or not necessarily that particular map yet?
No, there was that round towards the end. I think that broke the game in the end was the 2v4 from Scream and Shocks in that inner bomb site. But I don't think that we have a replay of it because it was pretty late into the game. But I think that was the deciding factor, because after that, Liquid was on a weak bye and couldn't really come back into the game.
Yeah, and again, much like all the old Nukes, they did a really good job of isolating and kind of shutting out JDM's op outside, right? A few times he played really passive on those stairs and got around him.
Well, the thing is, you don't even have to play. That's the point of like Nuke in general. You actually don't have to have an op station so aggressive. You can play under catwalk and you can just have one of your ramp rotators go lower and hold that. That was the whole concept of Nuke, where you said you actually don't have to hold yard.
Yeah.
Because it's so close knit anyway. You have to go to the bomb sites. That is just like, yeah, maybe you want to go outside and you get that extra pick in the beginning, but it's nothing you rely on.
Yeah.
Just fall back, and that's something we didn't see JDM. Got caught a lot. That one round where he got help from Elish when he pushed up and Elish got the 2-kill and JDM was just holding upper. That's a great setup. And you know, if you had worked more on that, if you could have put Elish behind T-Red, for example, and JDM got the first shot, fell back. There's a lot of room for improvement there, and I think that going back to this game and just rewatching the demo, you will see that it's actually you got picked quite often, and it just opened up the map, right?
Yep.
Rather than just you don't kill anyone at all, and then yourself just falling, and it just leaves with no information whatsoever on yard. They can go lower, they can go in main, they can go outside, then just fall back, play it safe, and just call that you don't have that they can go downside and Nitro can fall back.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you, gentlemen. Just so you know, there's a movie coming out July 29th. It's the new Jason Bourne movie. And the Jason Bourne MVP of the match, going to be RPK. So let's talk about his performance a little bit, starting with you, Robert.
No, I mean, overall, we were talking about our RPK as well, like in terms of Janko was saying that he rarely gets flustered, even if it's during a game that they're behind. Did a great job here. Even on those two as well, he's the kind of guy that you expect to rely on. He's not the kind of guy that will go off. I don't think that he was the best fragger on the server, but just the sheer fact that if you need clutch situations, never heard him talk, so I don't know how his communication is, but seems to be a very calm and assertive player, where it's like, well, I'll do this, I don't really care, I'm going to get the job done anyway. And in this series, I think he showed that even in an IP game, it was really, really good. So overall, great performance here today from RPK.
He doesn't talk, he just kills people.
Yeah. No, I
he just gets things done. Robert.
Yeah, I agree.
He was the driving force for G2 in the first half of that deciding map, right? I think he had 19 kills or close to 20 kills in the first map, and then it was mostly Shocks who took over in the second half on the T side. But yeah, showed why we picked him. I mean, in our pre-game show as to compare him, because I feel that he's just a really, really solid player, and he is more consistent with time and with more practice, so I feel that he's going to be even better in the future.
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen. We do have one more match to go tonight, and no matter what, we will have one North American roster playing tomorrow. Will it be Cloud9 or will it be TSM? Come back after the break, and we're all going to find out together.